Hello, so nice to be here with you this evening. So I'm looking here, I'm looking up at the moon, and so I just know that that is bringing a certain energy. It's a very full, almost full moon, if you know what I mean. I can actually feel its energy as I'm speaking to you here this evening, so thank you so much for being here. Tonight is Monday Magic, obviously, but it's the second part of my True to You course that I promised to teach you. And as I say, it's so nice to be here this evening on this day of love. Old love and new love, and love of family, and love in friendships, and unlikely love. Sometimes in life I've come across unlikely love, and also unrequited love. Thank you God I didn't ever suffer from something like that. And even the love of animals, which for some people is a very important part of their lives, keeping them company on life's journey. And I certainly know that the two geriatric animals in this household are much loved. It's all quite fascinating, really. So here we are on week 2 of the True to You course. And I did think of cancelling tonight because I wasn't sure how many people would be able to join us. But I thought, no, I'll go ahead. I want to have it done within these weeks. And if you were with me last week, I'm wondering, did you notice any little changes in how you feel about your life and how you would like your life to evolve for you? And I hope that you feel even a little sense of hope and possibility as we continue this journey together. So I came across a lovely prayer to the angel Ariel this week. And the prayer was, please help me, Angel Ariel, to remember who I truly am. And I couldn't believe the synchronicity of this, because that's always a sign for me that I'm doing the right thing in the right time. And even through the weeks of True to You, I encourage you to notice things and notice little signs and make little notes of them, because in many ways these are the breadcrumbs that guide us along our way. And when I reviewed last week and the time we'd spent together, I was actually surprised how much we had covered. So to quote an esteemed Irish poet, Oscar Wilde, the beginning of a lifelong romance is to truly love yourself. So here we are. We'll start on part 2 now. And as I said last week, this will be, an online course that I hope people will enjoy in the future, but I'm delighted to give it to you as a gift here at the moment. So last week we spoke about the true self and how it can be overshadowed, and it's within our power to search and find her and to re-empower our true self. And we can use our truth as our guiding light. So perhaps you've joined me before for some self-discovery, but there are layers to this. And there's also the feel-good factor we can enjoy as we work through this little journey together. So, do you ever ask yourself, how am I doing? Is there something that could be better? Have I changed, and do I need things around me to change too? What can I put in place that will make life interesting? Is there something on my wish list that I've been ignoring or putting on the long finger? Do I even have a wish list? Or have I kind of given up on it, or given up a little bit on life? Certainly with people I've worked with over the years, and we've worked on their style, or we worked on their life together, people do give up for all different reasons. But for many of us, we've actually given up on being true to ourselves by the age of 7. We're molded and influenced and even directed by others, but also by our life experience and the stories we tell ourselves to try and make meaning of things that are so often far beyond our childhood or childish comprehension. I've always gone to great lengths to try to explain life to our children. Perhaps this is because, despite a lovely childhood, nobody ever explained things to me, and I never thought to ask. I suppose it was a different era. My father would go on business for months on end, sometimes up to 12 weeks. And we just knew Dad was gone on business. But, nobody ever counted down the weeks or explained that this time would come to an end. Perhaps we just take things for granted, or take it for granted that younger people will understand. I certainly explain and have explained life to our children. Maybe that's because we came together as a family in a completely different way. And I wanted them to really understand and feel a truth in all of our communication, and empower them to be able to ask or to question or to express themselves in whatever way they needed to. So every single morning is a chance to reinvent even one tiny aspect of our life. And we can actually each day, if we wish, make ourselves a promise. Morning pages can be a great route to self-discovery, but I have discovered that we can tell ourselves stories in our journaling, and even little white lies. And this is from my discussions with people I've worked with. So for me, journaling can be a great brain dump, where we write it all down and either store it or perhaps even burn it. But even in Life Design, I teach free writing. And I'm completely open to questions about this because it's beyond the course content here. We write in a specific way for 6 days, and then on the 7th day, we review and reflect. And at the end of the month, we do a further reflection. And we make our life design wishes from there for the time ahead. I remember learning this technique at a time when I thought I wanted to go a certain direction in my life. And then one day realizing, no, I don't want to listen to other people's problems. That's the route I was taking, coaching and NLP and, that whole route. I want to work on the lighter side of life. And it was like a huge revelation. And within days, an opportunity came my way, which changed my life direction for the better and opened up all kinds of opportunities for me. I actually became a style coach. So I worked with people in that way instead. And in many ways, as a bigger person, it allowed me to dip into the whole world of style and fashion, and it gave me permission to be included in that world for the first time in my life. So the free writing that we do and learn in Life Design can provoke insights, and these can come in a dream, or they can come while we're taking a shower or even a bath. They can come when we're out in nature. And in many ways, it helps us to access our deep wisdom and our intuition for our own benefit. So what's so new with Life Design is, what's so new about what's happened and how Life Design has evolved is probably what I'll explain, is that it was something I had to do with people or for people. And then they would start to call me their fairy godmother or think that I had some kind of secret power. However, I was determined that I wanted people to do this for themselves. Yes, with a helping hand as they required. But there's nothing more empowering than to know you have the Life Design superpower yourself. And yes, you have to learn the method. And yes, like everything worthwhile, it takes a little bit of practice. But it really is a wonderful life skill. You see, when I started my journey of personal self-discovery, I was so focused on being the best mum and the best wife and the best daughter and even the best friend and sorting out charitable quests too, that I completely lost touch with my own hopes and my dreams and my wishes. I was no longer true to me. And, there was something else in the background that I'm currently writing a book about too. So I've never been the best at routines, but one of the best places you can start being true to yourself is with a simple morning routine. When I went to magic school, we were taught this, and it was really recommended. And I have truly experienced the benefit. And there's just 3 simple things to it. So preferably before you leave your bed, take for yourself 3 really deep breaths. Breaths to the heart of you, breaths to the core of you. I call these the breaths of self-connection, body, mind and spirit. And it's best if we do them as soon as possible after waking. And then we think about 3 things that we're grateful for. I often do that before I fall asleep, but it seems to slot in with what I'm recommending here very, very well. 3 things I'm grateful for. The bright morning, perhaps, knowing that my loved ones are safe. You know, whatever comes to mind for you, just 3 things we're grateful for. But this is the most interesting one that I was taught in Magic School. It's to ask myself, how do I want to feel today? How do I want to feel today? And it's truly empowering. So I'm always adding to my courses. This is new to this course because I always add to my courses if I take on new practices myself. You see, taking this time for yourself in the morning sets you up for the day ahead. And I am conscious that people may have children and whatever, but to be honest with you, on a few days that I have forgotten to do it before I leave my bed, even in the bathroom, I just pause and do those 3 things. And honestly, I'm feeling a huge benefit from it. Also, if you can find your way to give yourself a compliment as you prepare for the day ahead, it really is a great help too. Because I really learned from working with people that the compliment we give ourselves, whether it's about our appearance or our character or our intention for the day, whatever compliment it may be, the compliment we give ourselves is worth 10 compliments from somebody else. And as I always say, compliments from others are dependent on how they are feeling in their lives. So it's a good old habit to say something nice about yourself to begin your day, or even when you remember it, because there's always something good to say. So taking these modules of True to You, a special time for yourself, will give you a feeling that you're worth it. All of this boosts your self-esteem. You're not waiting for the time to be right. The time is now. So I invite you to come to the sessions with an open mind and to really know that within the group here we want the very, very best for you. One of the greatest challenges we face as we go through life, being in relationships or even failed relationships, or family life or extended family life, or motherhood or fatherhood, or even caring for our elders, is keeping some precious aspects of ourselves intact and to remain true to ourselves, to take real care of ourselves, to fulfill our own needs, to put ourselves and our life on our wish list. What I wish for everyone I work with is that they begin to really appreciate their unique vibe, if they don't do this already. That they understand and celebrate their uniqueness. As someone myself who was put down for many years and criticised, I really understand the importance of this. I also wish for my clients that they release the pressure of perfection, whether self-imposed or imposed by others, or even by society. Because when we do this, life takes on a different flow. We experience more ease. And we've much more hope of being actually true to ourselves, not just thinking about it. It's very easy just to think about these things, but my intention here in Monday Magic and with everyone I work with is that this actually happens for the people I speak with. They don't just think about all of this, that actually they have the benefit and the enjoyment of it all working for them. So as I began to do my life design work with people, I realized that it's so rare that we're asked, how are things, in a genuine way? And when we begin to ask ourselves this question without judgment or criticism, we have some hope of being true to ourselves. So checking in with ourselves, genuinely asking, how am I? How am I feeling? What can I do to make today better? What simple little tasks or little actions can I take? Is it the compliment? Is it the gratitude? Is it the deep breaths? Is it setting our intention for the day ahead? Very, very simple things, but the difference is enormous. I remember when someone was going to listen to one of my precious courses, maybe 18 months ago, I was being so worried about what they would think about it. I wasted energy on kind of a self-judgment on their behalf. How could I have known what they would think? And they actually said afterwards, Liz, what you're sharing is pure gold. So how often do we stop ourselves or stand in our own way of doing what we want to do, or sometimes even what we must do to take things to the next level? So with the actual life design process, which is not covered in this course here, it's separate, we embark on a personal audit without judgment or criticism. This doesn't sort things out straight away, but it does highlight what we would like to, I don't even like the word change, what we would like to enjoy in our lives that can kind of give a boost to our contentment and our happiness day to day, really be, despite life's ups and downs, because that's what life design is all about. It's about designing wonderful lives despite whatever challenges that we're dealing with. I heard a quote that I'm not sure where I found it, that complaining sows seeds of bitterness in other people's gardens that grow weeds. And there's a lot of complaining going on at the moment, whether it's in the big protests we see on TV, or it's complaining as people's lives have been turned upside down in recent times. So I have a question this evening. I've been asking myself it today actually. Is complaining really true to you, or does it actually drag you down? What can we choose to do instead? I certainly made a couple of decisions myself. Not that I complain too much, but there's just so much going on at the moment. Just so much. So I often ask myself, what would life be like if we could live with the determination of a 2-year-old or the tenacity of a 10-year-old on a mission? What about the enthusiasm of the early stages of love? Or if we could treat ourselves with the tenderness that we often save for others? How much better will our lives be if we treat ourselves with kindness and respect and even a little optimism, as we expect things to work out well for us, despite the threats, and deal with the challenges as they arrive, and only if they arrive, as I mentioned last week. Many of us are living as if these things are actually happening ever before they do. How would it be if we make choices with our negative voice turned off and be prepared to get help to do this if necessary? What if we could live life in keeping with our true nature and to the sound of our own encouragement, happy to reinvent as necessary, because this is what life design offers us. So, as last week, with life design, we just look at the lighter side of life. And I really, really encourage you to get help with anything that's bothering you. As life designers, instead of goals, we focus on hopes and dreams, though we do break these down into steps, and we try to make these steps as compelling as possible. What I mean by that is we try to, by really getting to know ourselves, to actually find ways to do the things we need to do as well as the things we want to do, but in ways that encourage us and remove resistance, because we can have resistance. What Jeffrey Allen calls turn off your analyzer. So as I say, we focus on our hopes and we dream our dreams. We break them down into steps and we make these as attractive, I suppose, as possible, the different steps along the way. And if we're living with a negative voice inside our heads, it's worth taking time to make peace with it, because it really can be what holds us back in life. A kind of an internal bully. And heaven knows there are enough bullies in the outer world. We don't need an internal one as well. Unhappy people bully others. And the more we work on our own happiness and our peace of mind, the quieter our inner voice bully will become. In fact, it can actually become your greatest encourager. So this evening, I'm going to pull our cards for the week. I'm still with my old angel cards. I think taking responsibility for pleasing ourselves. Gee, another one has popped out here. And for finding ways to be true to ourselves really sets us up for everything else. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. So I expected, I don't know why, to get angels tonight, but these old cards, they're really exceptionally interesting, these cards. So the first one is laughter. Laughter is a wonderful healer. It shakes out fear and leaves you feeling happier, clearer, and more relaxed. Remember that angels fly because they take themselves lightly. So make light of the difficulties and see the funny side of situations. Laugh at yourself and with others. When you relax and laugh, your angels drop in new suggestions and ideas, which can transform difficulty into delight. Laughter is the sunshine which dissolves the darkness, so be merry, joyous, and fun-filled. And the affirmation for this is, I see the humour in everything. And I only said to my husband a week or two ago, gosh, we don't laugh much here anymore. And it really is true. We're calm, we're kind, we're reasonably happy. Do we laugh out loud? I'm not sure. We were actually laughing. It made us laugh when we were thinking of my father. And he used to watch these comedians. You'd hear him out in the street, absolutely laughing at these silly comedians. And it's like that's gone out of our lives anyway. And the second card this evening is kindness. In order to be kind, you must open your heart to the gentle qualities of caring and compassion. Be kind to yourself, have reasonable expectations, and give yourself due praise. In order to nurture the gentle quality of kindness, cherish yourself. This is so in line with what I'm teaching you. When you do something for yourself, you automatically extend that same energy to others. Kindness melts barriers of ice around people, and it re-empowers those who are afraid. So reach out to the lonely, draw out the shy, include those who feel isolated, and comfort the sad. Your rewards will be a sense of inner peace, warmth, and love. And the affirmation is, I am kind to myself and to others. And the third one is vulnerability. And it's funny because in the oracle card I was given only today, so I'm going to cough, excuse me, vulnerability came into it. So only the brave and open-hearted dare to allow themselves to be vulnerable, for it requires courage to take down all walls and expose your humanness. Your angel guidance is to become aware of your defense mechanisms, which keep you separate from others and the divine. Ask your angels to help you dissolve your masks and barriers so that your fragile true self can emerge like a butterfly from its cocoon. The reward is freedom, love, and a sense of inner safety. So dare to be vulnerable and open. And the affirmation is, vulnerability is my strength. I really like those impressions. I shared this card. So this card has been trying to come through for the last 4 or 5 hours. And I kept saying no because the topic just seemed too big to come through to me properly or something. I felt I needed more time. But anyway, I just couldn't ignore it anymore. So my Oracle card this evening is love. And I will say I really, really resisted it today. So love is a moment, a feeling that enfolds you, like you're the center of a most beautiful rose. Love is a heavenly gift that can be all-consuming. It can take us by surprise and change our lives, or an aspect of our lives, as can its loss. Love is people and places, memories and experiences. It is nature. But most of all, it is you and your true nature. Your complexity and intrigue, your character and personality, your talents, your unique energy and vibration in this world. So much is said about love as we try to make sense of it. It is pure in silence and best expressed in music and art and poetry. Love can be misunderstood, misused and manipulated, but must be cherished, appreciated and embraced and shared for humanity to thrive. Love leaves us vulnerable, as it can be fleeting or complicated or even confusing. A long and enduring love is ever present when we find the truth of ourselves, a deep well of love to be savoured and shared. I actually feel privileged to have been given that today and delighted to share it with you here. So, as you think of the week ahead on this journey of self-discovery, go right back to the basics and ask yourself, in order to be true to me, what do I like to eat? What do I like to drink? What do I like to wear? And there'll be a little bit more about this next week. What do I like to read? What do I like to listen to? What makes me feel stressed? What do I really enjoy? What makes me feel abundant? What makes me feel special? What makes me feel loved? There are so many clues to be gained in the answers to these little questions. And in many ways we can use them to build the roadmap of being true to you, because knowledge is power. And just for the day that's in it, I'll share a little poem. I'd put this into the notes before I knew that I'd have my oracle card. It's by a poet I've started following, S.C. Lowry. Just for today, keep it simple. Don't be so hard on yourself. Look at your life for all you've gained rather than lost. Look at your path for everything you've gotten through rather than where you think you should be. Celebrate rather than criticize. Experience rather than expect. Stand in the sunlight rather than the shadows. Quietly honor your heart rather than disown a piece of yourself. Take a break from all that. See how it goes, just for today. So I hope you enjoyed that. I suppose I really should have put on my Queen Lizzie crown this evening, but honestly, she can be so shy, and I wouldn't mind. But she even has a kind of a Valentine's vibe one Do you know, I'm putting it on right now. The few little roses and everything on top. So as always, even though some people think me crazy, I'll send you blessings for the week ahead. I send you good wishes for good luck and happiness and joy and whatever you wish for. So thank you for being here with me. Wishing the best for you. You're truly, truly special. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us and for listening to Life Design Monday Magic. We are honoured and humbled to be able to share Liz's words, wisdom and life design philosophy with you. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe so you never miss a new one. And if you could take a moment to rate and review the podcast, it would help us share her message with even more people. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another inspirational Life Design Monday Magic filled with more of Liz's wisdom, warmth and encouragement to help you live your best life despite. We'll talk to you again soon, and in the meantime, take care. And as Liz would say, do focus on all that's good. Good luck.